Hi, both. Thanks for joining us today on our Business Gurus channel, where we will be discussing key business topics to help students grasp the most important elements of their course in preparation for their exams and future career. Let's get started.
Finding the right people for a job. It sounds, well, pretty fundamental for any business, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It
Mhm.
really is. But the actual process, recruitment, it's often more involved than you might first think.
Yeah, there's more to it than just like posting an ad and hoping for the best. There are the practical steps, sure, but also some really key legal things layered on top.
Exactly. And that legal framework, well, that's often crucial. It can be the difference between doing things right and running into serious issues. Understanding it is key, whether you're um, building a team or maybe looking for a job yourself.
Right. And that's what we're doing today, isn't it? Our deep dive. We're going to unpack the basics of recruitment, the process itself, and crucially look at a key bit of law that shapes it.
hmm And we're basing this on a specific source. We've got, looks like a slide from a presentation, something about legislation and business.
That's the one. So the mission is to get a handle on the how of recruitment and the rules involved, at least according to the source material.
Okay, sounds good. Where does the source start?
Well, it kicks off with a definition. Recruitment, it says, is pretty straightforwardly the process of finding and hiring the right people for a specific job.
Finding and hiring. Okay, simple enough. Does it break down that process?
It does. It lists out some very practical stages, things you'd probably expect.
Like what?
First up, advertising the role, getting the word out there.
Makes sense. You need candidates.
Then, once the applications come in, the source says the next step is reviewing them, sorting through, seeing who might fit,
Right, the initial sift.
followed by interviewing candidates, actually talking to the promising ones.
The engagement part.
And then finally, according to this slide, it all leads to choosing the best person for the job. That's
Yep.
the process flow it lays out.
Okay, advertise, review, interview, choose. Seems logical. But you mentioned the legal layer earlier.
Exactly. And this is where the source brings it in quite strongly. It points to one specific piece of legislation, the Equality Act 2010.
Ah, yes, the Equality Act. That's a big one.
Yep.
What does the source say its role is here, specifically in recruitment?
It's very direct. It says this act makes sure there is no discrimination in the recruitment process. Full stop.
No discrimination. That's the core function it highlights.
Yes. And it gives examples of what kind of discrimination the act prevents in this context.
Such as?
Well, the examples listed are discrimination based on age, race, gender, and religion. Those specific characteristics.
Okay, so the law, as presented here, says you cannot make recruitment decisions based on those factors: age, race, gender, religion.
Precisely. And thinking about those steps you just listed, advertising, reviewing, interviewing, choosing this legal requirement, according to the source, applies to all of them.
So it affects how you write the job ad, for instance.
Yeah, the language can't be discriminatory. And then how you review applications, what questions you ask in an interview, it has to be fair, not biased based on those protected characteristics.
And the final choice, choosing the best person, must also be free from that kind of discrimination.
According to this source, yes. It's a thread running through the whole thing.
It's interesting how the source frames it. It's not just a compliance checklist added on top. It seems to suggest this non-discrimination principle is sort of baked into the process itself.
How do you mean?
Well, the source says the goal is finding the right person, the best person, but then immediately brings in the Equality Act constraint. It almost implies that finding the right or best person only counts if it's done without discriminating based on age, race, gender, religion, etc.
Ah, I see. So the definition of best is kind of shaped by the legal requirement for fairness.
That seems to be the implication from this source, yeah.
Yeah.
The legal parameters define what a valid selection process even looks like.
And that's really important for you listening in, whether you're involved in hiring, trying to build a great team, or maybe you're the one applying for jobs. Understanding this, that the whole process is underpinned by this legal need for non-discrimination, it's fundamental. It sets the ground rules.
It means, based on this source, opportunities should legally be assessed on merit, on suitability for the actual job, not on those other factors like age or race.
So, to quickly recap, recruitment is finding and hiring, involving steps like advertising, reviewing, interviewing, choosing. But crucially, our source highlights the Equality Act 2010 ensures no discrimination based on protected characteristics like age, race, gender, religion throughout that process.
That's the core takeaway from this slide. The practical steps meet the legal mandate.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe picking up on that point you made earlier.
Go on.
If the goal, as the source states, is finding the right people, the best person, how does this absolute legal requirement for no discrimination based on characteristics like age or race change how we even think about identifying who that best person actually is?
Yeah, that's the interesting tension, isn't it? Does the source push us to see best not just as skills and experience, but as someone identified through a demonstrably fair and non-discriminatory process? It's something to consider.
Thanks to both of you for joining us today. You've been listening to the Business Gurus. Let's now hand it over to you. What further questions do you have based on what we've discussed so far? Leave a comment and we'll get back to you right away. If you haven't already, hit that follow for more business tips.